Chosen one, listen to me carefully. The first 3 days of this month, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, are not ordinary days for you. Something massive is being delivered into your life across this 72-hour window, and the door is opening the moment you press play on this message. You did not stumble into this. You were placed here. Whether you are hearing this at the start of the first day, the middle of the second, or even in the final hours of the third, the portal has not passed you. The portal has met you exactly where you stand. There is a higher force that has been moving every quiet circumstance to bring this message into your hands precisely now, because what is preparing to land cannot land in the version of you that is distracted, scattered, or asleep. The version that came to this moment is the one being addressed. What I am about to share with you is the reason you have been carrying that strange, restless knowing for weeks. The shift you have been waiting for is no longer waiting. It is here. It is now. And it is for you. Stay with me here, because what is happening across these 3 days is older than we have words for. There is a kind of time that the ancient ones recognized, not the time we measure with watches and calendars, not the linear ticking that takes you from morning to night and back again. Another kind, a kind they used to call appointed time, the time that has weight, the time that was set aside before any of us were born, for specific moments and specific souls. The first 3 days of May, for you, are appointed time. I cannot prove this to you with charts or numbers. I can only ask you to stay with me long enough to recognize it for yourself, the same way the body recognizes the smell of rain before the rain ever arrives. Some knowings come from beneath the mind. They come from a deeper place, and the knowing that brought you here is one of those. Before we go any deeper, let me tell you exactly what I am bringing into this space for you. I want you to know what is on the other side of this message, because what I am about to share is not a list of vague spiritual ideas. It is specific. I am going to show you the 5 quiet signs the window is already touching your life. Signs almost no one teaches about, because they are not the loud ones. I will share with you a story from one of the oldest sacred texts, of a man whose 3rd day broke open everything he had been waiting for, and the original Hebrew phrase that names this exact pattern in time. I will give you a simple receiving protocol, under 75 minutes, spread across the 72 hours, that aligns your nervous system with what is actually arriving. I will give you a second practice, one almost no spiritual teacher names, that tracks the threshold by what has gone quiet in your life, rather than what is showing up. And toward the end, I am going to speak something directly over your life that I believe will stay with you long after this message ends. Stay with me. Do not leave halfway through. What is being placed here is for the ones who finish. While you are still settling into this, I want to give you something gentle, something most people forget when they hear about a 3-day window like this one. Whether today is May the 1st, the 2nd, or the 3rd, you are inside the window. You are not late. You are not too early. You are not behind. The window is not a door that swings shut at midnight on the 3rd day and locks you out if you arrived halfway in. The window is a state, a particular kind of resonance. And the moment you stepped into this message, you stepped into it. You are inside it now. Whatever was happening in your week before this message reached you, set it aside. Wherever you came from to be here, that journey is part of why the window opened for you. There is no missing this. There is only meeting it. So, here is the question I want you to sit with as we go. Why are some 72-hour windows different from others? Most days move through your life the way water moves through your hands. They pass. They leave nothing behind. You wake up. You do the things. You go to bed. You wake up again. And on most days, That is exactly as it is meant to be. Not every day is meant to carry weight. If every day were heavy, none of them would be. But every once in a long stretch, something different shows up in time itself. A short window where what would normally take a year to shift can shift in 72 hours. A window where what was building underground in the unseen finally breaks the surface. A window where the heavens, whatever name you use for that intelligence that has been arranging things on your behalf, choose to deliver something they have been holding for a long time. The first 3 days of any new month carry a small version of this. The ancients knew it. They built rituals around it. They paid attention to the start. But the first 3 days of this month, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, are carrying something heavier for you specifically. And I am going to spend the rest of this message showing you why and what to do with it. Long ago, in a sacred text that almost every spiritual tradition references in some form, there was a phrase used in the original Hebrew. The phrase was, "Vayhi beketze." It is hard to translate cleanly into English. The closest we can get is, "and it came to pass at the end." The phrase only appears in the text at very specific moments. It is used when something long has finally reached its precise threshold. It is used when years have folded into hours. It is used the moment before a deliverance arrives. We will return to that phrase later in this message, because it has direct meaning for what is happening to you right now. For the moment, just hold the phrase, "Vayehi beketze," and it came to pass at the end, because before the deliverance arrives, the door of recognition opens, and the door of recognition is the first of the 3 doors you are walking through across these days. Here is what the door of recognition is. It is the moment when the unseen reaches into the seen and lets you know it is moving. It does not arrive with thunder. It arrives quietly. It arrives in patterns you almost dismiss. It arrives in 5 specific signs that, if you have been carrying any of them in the last few weeks, are confirming for you right now that the window is real and that you are inside it. I want to walk you through all 5. The first sign is emotional waves you cannot explain. In the last few weeks, you may have noticed something strange. Tears arriving without warning in moments that do not match. A sudden wash of peace that comes from nowhere, lasts 10 minutes, and then disappears. A flash of restlessness in the middle of an ordinary afternoon. A heaviness in the morning that becomes unexpected hope by the evening. None of it makes sense by the rules of the life you are visibly living. There has been no event to cause it, no conversation that triggered it, no film, no song, no obvious source. If this has been happening to you, this is not random. This is the door of recognition already pressing against you. Emotional waves without external cause are the spirit registering a shift before the mind can name it. Your inner self is more honest than your thinking. It is responding to what is approaching, not what is currently here. The second sign is repeating numbers and synchronicities, intensifying. I am not talking about the casual 11:11 you might glance at on a clock once in a while. I am talking about a sudden saturation. 3:33 appearing on your phone, on a receipt, on a license plate, all in the same day. 4:44 showing up the moment you open a screen. The same time stamp catching your eye every single time you happen to look. Repeating sequences that you cannot scientifically explain except by saying that the universe, or God, depending on how you frame it, is pinging you, reminding you, confirming you. When numbers begin appearing in clusters that defy probability, they are not coincidence. They are the heavens leaving small signatures that they are present in your week. They are saying, "We see you. We are here. The moment is approaching." The third sign is a sudden change in tolerance. Things that used to be fine are no longer fine. People who used to drain you in small ways are now draining you in large ways. Conversations you used to be able to sit through have become almost unbearable. Environments that you spent years inside suddenly feel wrong, like the air itself is the wrong temperature for you. You have not become a worse person. You have not become picky or judgmental. Something inside you is calibrating to a different frequency, and the things that do not match that frequency are pulling away from you because they have to. If this has been happening, do not panic. Do not feel like you are abandoning anyone. The change in tolerance is the signal that you are no longer the version of yourself that those things were built for. The window is reorganizing what surrounds you. It is part of the door cracking open. The fourth sign is the same word, the same phrase, or the same song, reaching you from completely unrelated places. A friend says a sentence you cannot stop thinking about. 2 hours later, you read the exact same sentence in something completely unrelated. The next morning, the words appear in a song. 3 different sources, no possible coordination, the same message. Whatever that phrase or word is, it is being underlined for you. The unseen is using the only paint it has, the paint of repetition across surfaces that should not be connected, to make sure you cannot miss it. Pay attention to that word. Pay attention to that sentence. Whatever has been showing up to you on repeat across this last stretch is part of the message that the window is delivering. The fifth sign is creative restlessness without an object. You have been wanting to make something, start something, write something, build something, but you cannot quite name what it is yet. The pull is real. The energy is real, but the object is unclear. Your hands feel like they want to move. Your mind keeps returning to the idea that something inside you wants to be expressed, but every time you reach for the specifics dissolve. This is not aimlessness. This is not avoidance. This is creative pre-energy. It is the energy of a chosen one whose calling is shifting and whose new assignment has not yet been fully named. The restlessness is the window communicating to you that the form of what you are about to do is changing, and the old form cannot be reignited because it is no longer for you. 5 signs. Emotional waves you cannot explain. Numbers and synchronicities in unusual saturation. A sudden change in what you can tolerate. The same word reaching you from unrelated sources. Creative restlessness with no clear object. If even 2 of these have been happening for you in the last few weeks, the door of recognition is already touching your life. You are inside the window. The first day is real for you. But the signs are not the message. The signs are only the announcement that the message is arriving. So, what is arriving? Before I answer that fully, I want to step out of the mystery for a moment and say something to you directly. What you are about to hear, you should hear directly, without the building of mystery for the sake of selling. Truth honors truth. There are 2 specific tools that have been placed in the path of chosen ones in this exact season. Tools that match what is happening to your nervous system across these 3 days. I want to name them now, lightly, so that nothing is hidden and so they are not a surprise later in this message. The first is called the Genius Song. The second is called the Wealth Signal. The Genius Song is a short audio designed by a researcher named Dr. Robert Lake to reactivate a frequency in the brain, a specific brainwave called gamma, that you were born with fully alive, and that was meant to stay alive but goes quiet around the age of 7. It is the frequency of the child within, the frequency of curiosity, openness, and the kind of receiving that small children do without effort. The Wealth Signal is a separate audio designed by a different researcher named Dr. Stephen Newton to calm the stress frequency, called beta, that has been blocking the channel through which what is yours actually arrives. It opens the receiving channel. These are not competing tools, they are sequenced. First, the child within wakes. Then, the channel opens to receive. I will return to both of these later in this message, in depth, with everything you need to understand them. For now, simply know they exist. The link is in the description and the pinned comment below if your spirit is already pulling toward them. What matters in this moment is what is happening in your life across these 3 days. Let me return there. Because the signs alone do not finish the work of the first day. The signs are the announcement. What we do with the announcement is what allows the rest of the window to actually deliver. Here is the part most people miss. The door of recognition is not asking you to recognize signs. It is asking you to recognize yourself. The reason the heavens are leaving the signs in your path right now is not so you can become an expert at noticing patterns. It is so you can finally arrive at the inner truth that the signs are pointing toward. The truth about who you actually are inside this moment. You are not waiting, you are being timed. Hear that again, because if you only take one sentence from the entirety of this message, this is the sentence I want you to take. You are not waiting, you are being timed. There is a difference. Waiting is what we call it when we believe we have been left in a holding pattern with no end in sight. When we believe time is moving and we are not. When we believe we have somehow been overlooked or forgotten or set aside. Waiting is a state of separation between you and what is for you. Being timed is something else entirely. Being timed is what happens when an intelligence higher than your own is precisely synchronizing your inner state with the outer arrival. Being timed means every quiet day, every silent week, every month where nothing visibly moved was actually doing very specific work. Work you could not see and could not measure, but which was setting the exact conditions under which what you have been believing for could finally land in a way you could actually carry. If it had arrived earlier, you could not have held it. If it had arrived during the version of you that was still desperate, still proving, still chasing, it would have warped you. The arrival would have become another performance. Another thing to manage. Another weight added to a soul that was already carrying too much. But the version of you that is in this moment is different. The you that has been quiet enough to be reached by a message like this. The you that has the inner room to actually hear what is being said. That is the version that can hold what is arriving. And the heavens do not deliver something massive into a small life. They make sure the receiver is ready first. You being ready is what the silence was doing. Let me tell you a story. I want to tell you about a woman who reached out to me about a year ago. I am not going to name her, because the story is more universal than her specifics. What I will tell you is that her season had been long, 18 months long. 18 months of working hard, of praying, of reaching, and of nothing visibly moving. She would tell people in her life that she felt forgotten, but she would say it in a way that made them think she was joking. She was not joking. She had been believing for a particular thing for a long time, a specific shift in her career, a specific kind of recognition for work she had been doing in obscurity, a specific reordering of her financial situation that she could not see how to make happen on her own. She had done everything she could think of, and the door had not opened. About 14 months into the silence, she stopped trying so hard, not because she stopped believing, but because she ran out of the energy to perform belief. She told me later that the last 4 months felt different from the first 14, quieter, not in a sad way, but in an emptied way, like the part of her that had been frantic finally went still. She said she felt invisible to herself and to the world. And then, on a Tuesday, an ordinary Tuesday, in the third day of a month she had not been paying attention to, at 3:47 in the afternoon, the call came. It was not the call she had been writing in her head. It was actually larger than the version she had been allowed to imagine. The person on the other end of the line had been carrying her name for almost a year, waiting for the right moment to reach her. And when that person reached her, she said the strangest thing happened. She said she did not feel surprise. She felt recognized, like the whole 18 months had been a holding pattern, and someone had finally lifted the pattern off of her, and underneath was a configuration of her life she could not have built, but had always somehow been hers. That is what the door of recognition does, on the right day, in the right window, for the right soul. She was not waiting, she was being timed. I tell you that story because somewhere in this message, there is a part of you that has been carrying her exact same story. Maybe yours is not 18 months. Maybe yours is 6 months, or 2 years, or a decade. The duration does not matter. The shape of the season is the same. You have been believing for something you cannot make happen on your own. You have been doing the inner work. You have stopped performing. You have entered the quiet phase that feels like invisibility, but is actually preparation. And now, the first 3 days of May have placed this message in your path. I want you to hear me carefully here. I am not telling you that on May the 2nd, at 3:47 in the afternoon, your phone is going to ring with the call. I am not in the prediction business. I do not know the form your shift is going to take. What I am telling you, with deep confidence, is that the architecture of what is happening to you across these 3 days has the same shape as her story, whether it arrives as a call, as a contact, as a release, as a recognition, as a turning, as an inner, unmistakable knowing. Something is being delivered. The door of recognition is doing its work right now. And what you are recognizing is not just signs. You are recognizing that you were never abandoned. You were timed. The timing was always for you, not against you. And the timing is moving now. I want to give you one more thing to carry with you out of the first day. There is a quiet identity that wakes up when the door of recognition opens, and I want to name it, because if I do not name it, you may walk past it without noticing what just happened to you. You are the gatekeeper of your own threshold. That is the inner identity the first day is asking you to step into. Not a passive receiver, not a hopeful waiter, not someone who is trying to earn the favor of the heavens by being good enough. A gatekeeper, the one who stands at the door and decides what crosses through, the one whose recognition is part of the machinery of arrival. The window cannot fully deliver to a soul who does not recognize itself as part of the delivery. You are the gatekeeper of your own threshold. Stand inside that for a moment before we move into the second day, because once we move, the energy shifts, and what is asked of you is different. The door of recognition is only the first. What is happening on the second day is something most people cannot prepare for unless they understand it, and very few teachers will name what I am about to name. The second day is the day the weight transfers, and the way the heavens move weight is not what you have been taught. You may have grown up believing that breakthroughs are loud, that when something shifts, it shifts dramatically, with thunder, with fanfare, with proof that everyone can see. But the actual mechanics of how the unseen moves into the seen are quieter than that. And the second day operates by different physics than what most spiritual teaching prepares you for. I am going to walk you through every layer of it. I am going to show you what the day of crossing actually feels like from the inside. I am going to show you the specific resistance that tries to convince you on day 2 that you imagined the whole thing. And I am going to give you the practical receiving protocol I promised you earlier. the one that takes about 75 minutes total, spread across all 3 days, and which is the missing piece for almost every chosen one who watched a window open and could not catch what was being delivered. We are going to walk through it together, but before we step into the second day, I need to tell you something. Before this message ends, I am going to speak something directly over your life that I believe will stay with you long after you leave this space. I am going to declare something specific to the version of you that came to this moment. Stay with me through what comes. The end of this message was placed for the ones who arrive at the end. The first day did its work in you. Whether you felt it land or not, the door of recognition has already pressed against the surface of your life. The signs are placed, the identity is named, the window has been confirmed, but the first day is only the open. What is asked of you on the second day is something altogether different, and before we step into it, I want to bring you back to one phrase from the silence I named earlier in this message. The silence you have been sitting in for weeks, maybe months. The silence that felt like absence. The silence that made you wonder, in your most honest moments, whether anything was ever going to move again. That silence was not absence, it was the gathering. On the second day, the gathering becomes movement. What had been building underneath the surface of your life, in places you could not see and could not measure, begins to lift. The weight transfers. What was stuck starts to loosen. What had been holding you in place begins, very quietly at first, to release its grip. If today happens to be the second day for you, you are the one walking inside the doorway right now. Step softly. Do not rush this. If today is still the first day, you are at the open, and what I am about to share is preparing you for what arrives next. If today is the third day, the crossing has already happened in you, even if you have not yet recognized the moment it occurred. We will name that moment together before this message ends. Wherever you are inside the window, what we are about to walk through is for you. I want to teach you something about crossings. Most people, when they hear the word breakthrough, imagine an event, a loud arrival, a visible thing that happens, and then everything is different on the other side of it, a miracle that announces itself. But the actual physics of how a season turns are quieter than that. A crossing does not always look like an event. A crossing is a transfer of weight. It is the moment when something that had been pressing on you for a long time stops pressing in the same way. And the strange thing about the transfer of weight is that you often do not feel it as it is happening. You only feel its absence afterwards. Think about this. You can carry a heavy bag for hours and become so used to its weight that you forget you are carrying it. The shoulders adjust. The body normalizes. The carrying becomes the baseline. And then, when something finally takes the bag from your hands, the first feeling is not relief. The first feeling is confusion. You stand there, hands suddenly empty, not quite knowing what to do with arms that no longer need to hold. That is what day 2 does. It does not always announce itself. It does not always feel like victory in the moment. It often feels at first like something is missing, like the air around you is differently shaped, like a tension you had grown so used to is no longer in the place it has been for years. The weight transfers, and the absence of the weight registers before the arrival of what was beneath it. If, in the next stretch of hours, you notice an unfamiliar emptiness, do not panic. Do not assume something is wrong. The emptiness is the sound of the bag being lifted off your hands. The hands have not yet learned what to do without the bag. They will. But first, the silence of the lifting must be honored. Now I want to name something that almost no one in spiritual content discusses, because it is uncomfortable to name. There is a part of every threshold where a counterforce activates, a specific kind of resistance that tries to make the chosen one doubt. They are inside the window. It comes in the form of small, plausible thoughts that arrive at the wrong moments. It says things like, "You are imagining this." It says, "You have done this before. You have believed for a window like this before, and nothing actually happened." It says, "Do not get your hopes up." It says, "This message is just words, and the world tomorrow will be exactly the same as the world yesterday." I want you to hear me carefully. That voice is not your common sense. That voice is the resistance of the second day, and it activates precisely because the door is opening. Resistance does not waste energy on doors that are not opening. The resistance never bothers a soul who is not actually about to cross. The fact that you are encountering doubt in this exact stretch is a confirmation that the crossing is real. Let me say that again, because the second day is the day this matters most. The doubt is not the proof that the window was a lie. The doubt is the proof that the window is real. If nothing was actually shifting, no resistance would have shown up. The resistance is the tax that crossings have always required. Every soul who has ever walked through a threshold of meaning has had to walk through doubt at the same time. The two move together. They are companions, not enemies. Here is what I want you to do with the doubt when it arrives. Do not argue with it. Do not try to convince it of anything. Do not perform faith on top of it. The doubt is not asking to be defeated. The doubt is asking to be noticed, named, and walked past. You are permitted to feel doubt and still be inside the window. The window does not require your certainty. It requires your presence. You can stand inside the doorway with shaking hands and still be standing inside the doorway. The trembling does not disqualify you. The trembling is how a soul knows it is on holy ground. The chosen who never tremble are the chosen who never crossed. Stay with me here. Take a breath. The hardest part of what we are walking through is behind us. Now, I want to take you somewhere old. I want you to imagine, for a moment, that you are in a stone room, deep underground. The walls are rough. The light comes through a single slit, no wider than the width of a hand. There is no clock in this room. There is no calendar. The only way to mark time is by the changes in the light through the slit. There is a man in this room. His name is Joseph. He has been here for a long time. The Hebrew text uses a phrase to describe how long he has been there, and the phrase is exact in a way that English struggles to translate. The phrase is Shenatayim Yamim, 2 years of days. Not 2 years in the abstract, 2 years of specific, individually counted days. The text uses this phrase deliberately. It does not say 2 years and move on. It pauses. It tells you that the man in the cell has lived through every single one of those days, one at a time, and the days have not stopped existing as days just because they have stacked up to 2 years. Hold that for a moment. 2 years of days, 600 and some odd individual mornings, 600 and some odd individual evenings, each one carrying the same architecture as the day before, each one asking him to wake up again into the cell, to eat in the cell, to sleep in the cell, to rise the next morning and do it all over. He had been put in that cell for something he did not do. He had been forgotten by a person who promised to remember him. He had a calling on his life that had been spoken over him as a young man, and from where he sat now, in the stone room, that calling looked impossibly far away. The dream he had been carrying since he was a boy, the vision he had been given of his future, none of it could be reconciled with where he actually was. None of it. If we are honest, This is not a foreign feeling to most of us. We have not been in literal stone cells, but many of us have lived through long stretches of life that felt like cells we did not consent to. Stretches where the calling we sense for ourselves is so far from the actual circumstances of our days that we begin to wonder whether we imagined the calling in the first place. Stretches where the dream we were given does not match the room we are currently sitting in. That was Joseph, for 2 years of days. And then the text tells us, something happens. The original Hebrew phrase that opens the next chapter of his life is the phrase I gave you earlier in this message, Vayehi baketse. And it came to pass at the end. The text does not say, and after a while. The text does not say, and eventually things changed. The text uses a very specific construction that means at the precise end, at the exact threshold, at the point where 2 years of days had reached the precise moment they had been waiting to reach. What happened at that precise end? Pharaoh, the most powerful man in the known world at that time, had a dream he could not understand. None of his advisors could interpret it. The cupbearer, who had been with Joseph in the prison years before and had completely forgotten about him, suddenly remembered. He told Pharaoh about a man in the prison who had a gift with dreams, and within hours, Joseph was pulled from the cell, given a bath, given new clothes, brought before the most powerful man on earth, and within the same single day, he went from prisoner to second only to Pharaoh in the kingdom of Egypt. Hours. What had been impossible for 2 years of days became inevitable in a single afternoon. I want you to sit with that. The thing that finally lifted Joseph out of the cell was not a thing he did. He did not engineer his release. He did not manufacture the dream Pharaoh had. He did not wake up that morning thinking, "Today is the day." From inside the cell, that morning looked exactly like every other morning. The light came through the slit at the usual angle. The stone walls were the same stone walls. There was no warning given to him. But the heavens had been working. The heavens had been working on the cupbearer's memory. The heavens had been working on Pharaoh's sleep. The heavens had been working on the timing of a kingdom that needed a particular kind of leader for a particular kind of crisis that was coming. The heavens had been working on Joseph too, for 2 years of days, shaping him into the kind of man who could walk into a palace at noon and not lose himself in the change. Everything Joseph had walked through inside the cell was the credentialing. The waiting was not abandonment. It was credentialing. The dream he had as a boy was not the assignment. The cell was the assignment, until the cell was no longer the assignment. The promotion he received in Pharaoh's court could not have been earned in the court. It had to be earned in the cell first. The heavens do not place the kind of weight Joseph carried in his second life on a man who has not been emptied first. And the emptying always happens in stone rooms. It always does. There is no shortcut around the stone room. There is only walking through the stone room, until the day comes when it is no longer the stone room. And the day, when it comes fast. Vaihi beketse. And it came to pass at the end. I want you to bring this story back to your own life now, to the season you have been walking through, to the months or years that have felt like a stone room you did not consent to. Whatever has been emptying you, whatever has been stripping away the version of yourself who used to perform, who used to chase, who used to prove, that emptying is the credentialing. Nothing about it has been wasted. Nothing about it has been overlooked. The heavens do not lose count of your days. They have been counting them the way the Hebrew text counts Joseph's days, one at a time. They know you. They know what is being formed in you. They know the precise threshold at which what has been credentialing you will turn into what is sending you. And the threshold for you is in this window. That is what day 2 is doing. Day 2 is the day the cell is no longer the cell. The stone walls have not visibly changed yet. The slit of light has not visibly widened. From the inside, the morning of crossing looks like every other morning. But underneath, the architecture has shifted. The cupbearer has remembered. The dream has been given to the right pharaoh. The kingdom has reached its crisis, and the kingdom is ready for what you carry. The transfer of weight has begun. You may not feel it yet. That is fine. Many of the great crossings of the human spirit have been completed before the soul realized the crossing had occurred. You will look back on this stretch and see what was happening underneath. For now, all that is asked of you is to keep standing inside the doorway, to not flinch when the resistance arrives, to recognize the doubt as the proof of the door and not the proof against it. Stay with me. We have walked a long way together already, and there is more to come. Let me hold this for a moment with you. You have been listening for some time now. Whatever room you are in, whatever your day has looked like up to this moment, I want to acknowledge what you are walking through to be here. Whoever you are, whatever has stripped you down to the version of yourself who could no longer perform, that stripping is the credential. There is nothing missing in you. Nothing is being withheld from you because you are not ready. You are exactly here, and exactly here is exactly enough. Take one breath that goes a little deeper than the last one. Just one. You do not have to do anything with what we have walked through so far. You only have to be present for what comes next. Now, I want to give you the practical piece I promised you in the beginning of this message. Across the next stretch of hours, what is being asked of you in this window is not effort. The window is not asking you to make something happen. The window is asking you to block the channel through which what is already approaching can land. There is a specific receiving protocol that aligns the inner state with the outer arrival, and I want to give it to you now. I am calling it the 72-hour receiving protocol. It has 3 components. Across all 3 days of the window, the total time it asks of you is about 75 minutes, spread across 72 hours. That is all. You do not need to clear your schedule. You do not need to make pilgrimages to a mountain. You do not need to fast, or to chant, or to journal in a specific way. You only need to do these 3 things, gently, in moments you can find inside the days you are already living. The first component is what I am calling the quiet hour. Across the 3 days, find one stretch of 60 minutes in which you do not make any binding decisions, no big choices, no yes or no answered to anyone about anything that matters, no financial commitments, no relationship pivots, no replies to messages that ask you to commit your time or your energy. You can do other things in this hour. You can be cooking, you can be folding clothes, you can be sitting by a window, you can be driving on a familiar route. The hour does not have to be ceremonial. It only has to be decision-free. The point is to give your nervous system 1 full hour where it is not engaged in evaluation, weighing, choosing, performing. 1 hour where the inner system can drop out of the part of itself that has been running every assessment for too many months in a row. The reason this works is that decision-making, at the level your nervous system has been doing it, is the activity of the stress signal. The brainwave called beta. As long as beta is dominant, the receiving channel cannot open fully. The quiet hour gives beta 1 hour off, and 1 hour is enough to make a real shift when the hour is real. The second component is what I am calling the short question. Twice across the 3-day window, in moments you find naturally, ask yourself one specific question, out loud, in a soft voice that only you can hear. The question is this: What am I being asked to release? So what is arriving has space to land. Do not answer the question. I want to repeat that, because it is the most counterintuitive part. Do not answer the question. Sit with the question for about 5 minutes after you ask it, and let whatever surfaces, surface. Do not chase it. Do not write it down. Do not analyze it. Just allow whatever shows up to show up. The reason this works is that conscious answering is another form of effort, and the receiving channel does not respond to effort. The channel responds to creating space. By asking the question and not answering it, you create a small opening in the inner architecture, and the answer, which often is not what your conscious mind would have chosen, surfaces from beneath. The answer might be a name. The answer might be an old grudge. The answer might be a habit. The answer might be a version of yourself you have been holding on to. Whatever surfaces is what is being asked to leave, so what is arriving has space. You do not have to act on the answer immediately. You only have to know it. The knowing alone begins the release. The third component is what I am calling the naming. Once across the window, in any quiet moment, name aloud one thing you have been waiting to receive. Just one. Not a list, not a paragraph. One thing. Speak it simply. Do not bargain with the heavens. Do not explain why you deserve it. Do not list the reasons. Just name the thing, in the cleanest sentence you can speak, and then let the sentence land in the room around you. The reason this works is that there is a specific energetic alignment that happens when the speaking field and the receiving field are speaking the same name. The heavens have been holding a thing for you. The thing has a name. When your voice names it, even softly, even alone, the alignment between the two fields completes. You stop being a soul, waiting in silence for an unnamed thing. You become a soul who has named what it is here to receive. The naming is the alignment. 3 components: the quiet hour, the short question, the naming. Across 72 hours, total time, about 75 minutes. That is all the receiving asks of you. You do not have to do them in any particular order. You do not have to do them on any particular day. You do not have to do them in any kind of holy posture. You only have to do them somewhere across the window in the life you are already living. I want to give you one more thing before we close this part of the message. There is a moment that I believe is being placed on my heart for you in this very breath. I want to give it to you directly, in the voice it is being given to me. My child, I did not delay you. I delayed the world around you, so you could become the one who could carry what is now arriving. You thought I was hidden. I was not hidden. I was building. You thought you were forgotten. You were not forgotten. You were being formed. The first day is not the door I am asking you to enter. The first day is the door I am asking you to stand in. The second day is when I move you. The third day is when you understand. I have not been late. I have been exact. Receive what I am sending. Stay with that for a breath. You do not need to do anything with those words. You only need to know they were placed in your hands on a day when most of the world will never hear what you just heard. That alone is part of the door. We have walked through the recognition of day 1. We have walked through the crossing of day 2. We have walked through one of the oldest stories of the third day in any sacred text, and we have given that story its proper Hebrew weight. We have given you the receiving protocol that will hold you through the rest of the window. And we have stood together inside a moment of direct address that I trust will stay with you. But there is one more day. The third day is not the day the seal is set in the way most people think. The seal is set in something deeper than what you have been taught about deliverance. There is a specific layer of what is happening on day 3 that I have not yet named in this message, and that very few teachers ever name. It is the layer that turns a window from a beautiful experience you watched into a permanent threshold you crossed. I want to take you into that layer next. Stay with me. The deepest part of this message is still ahead. We have walked through the recognition of day 1. We have walked through the crossing of day 2. Now, I want to take you into the layer that almost no one names. The third day is not the day the seal is set the way most people think. The seal is set deeper than that. Most people, when they hear about a third day, expect a finale, a loud arrival, a clear external event that announces, in language anyone can read, that something has finished. That model of completion exists, but it is the surface model. It is what completion looks like to someone who is watching from the outside. The chosen ones know completion differently. The chosen ones know that completion is what happens when something that was started in the unseen finally becomes visible in the seen. The third day is the day the unseen breaks the surface, and it does so in 3 specific layers at the same time, even when only one of them is loud enough to register on the first pass. I want to walk you through every one of those 3 layers. The first layer of completion happens inside you. Somewhere across the window, often without warning, a knowing settles in you that was not there before. It is not a thought. It is not a conclusion you reasoned your way into. It is a quiet inner certainty that arrives in a single moment, and once it arrives, the part of you that had been wrestling with a particular question simply stops wrestling. The wrestling was the noise. The settling is the silence underneath the noise. It might come while you are doing something completely ordinary. Standing in the kitchen, driving on a road you have driven 1,000 times, sitting up in bed in the early morning before the day begins. The setting will be unremarkable. The settling will not. You will know something you did not know an hour earlier. You will know it without proof. You will know it the way you know your own name, and you will not need to argue for it, because the part of you that needed external evidence to trust an inner knowing has already been emptied out across the long season behind you. The emptying made room for the settling. If, across these 3 days, you experience an inner knowing that arrives without warning, do not dismiss it. Do not run it past every committee in your mind for approval. The first layer of completion is the soul finally hearing itself with no static. The static is gone because the channel cleared. The second layer of completion happens in the configuration of people around you. The third day, for most chosen ones in a window of this kind, brings a quiet reorganization in relationships. It does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like one person who has been silent in your life for a while suddenly reaches out. Sometimes it looks like a person who has been overly present in your life suddenly becomes harder to reach. Sometimes it looks like a single conversation that ends a chapter neither of you have been able to close on your own. Sometimes it looks like a name appearing in a context that has nothing to do with you, and yet you know, in the moment you notice it, that the name carries meaning for what is approaching. The window does not announce these moments with bells. It places them quietly, like envelopes left on a table for you to find. Some you will open immediately. Some you will not understand the meaning of until weeks later, when the shape of what is being built around you becomes clear enough to read. If, across these days, the configuration of people in your life seems to be shifting in small, unexplainable ways, that is the second layer of completion working. The window is reorganizing the relational architecture so that what is approaching has the right people in the right positions to receive it with you. The window cares about who is around you. because what is being delivered is not delivered to a single soul in isolation. It is delivered into a context, and the context has to be ready. The third layer of completion happens in the material world. This is the layer most people are watching for, and the layer that confuses them when they do not see it the way they expected. The material layer of completion across a third day does not always arrive as a thunderclap. Sometimes it arrives as one tangible thing moving in a direction it has not moved in for months. A door that has been shut in a particular area of your life, either opening or you receiving clear instruction, in a way you cannot ignore, to stop pushing on that door, because it was never meant for you. Both of these are completion. Both of these are the third layer doing its work. The release of a door that was never yours is just as much a completion as the opening of a door that always was. The chosen ones learn to receive both with the same gratitude. The releases are the soil being cleared. The openings are the planting. You cannot have a real harvest without both. If, across these 3 days, one tangible thing moves, even a small thing, do not dismiss it as small. Smallness, in the language of the heavens, is often how something massive begins. The third layer arrives in motion, and the motion almost never starts where you were watching for it to start. It starts where you were not looking. 3 layers, working at the same time: inner, relational, material. The completion of the third day is not one of these alone. It is all 3 working together, with one of the 3 louder than the other 2. The other 2 are working underneath, and you will see their work later when the shape of the new season has clarified. The window has not asked for your perfect arrival into this awareness. The window has only asked for your arrival. Wherever in these 3 days this lands for you, the door of completion is doing its work. Whether you are in the early hours of day 1 and reading these layers as a map, or in the middle of day 2 and recognizing them as already in motion, or in the final stretch of day 3 and understanding what has been happening across your week, the door does not wait for the perfect chosen one. The door meets the chosen one who is present. Now, I want to give you the second practice I promised you. This one is harder for most people to receive because it goes against the way almost every spiritual teacher you have ever heard frames the question of recognition. Most spiritual content tells you to look for what is showing up, to track new arrivals, to watch for the patterns that are appearing, to notice the things that are coming into your life. I am going to ask you to do the opposite. I want you to track what has gone quiet. This is the recognition inventory, and it is one of the most reliable tools the chosen ones have for confirming a threshold is real, because the most truthful sign of a window like this one is not what is showing up. It is what is finally stopping. The heavens reorganize a season by clearing before they build. The clearing happens before the building, and the clearing is most often invisible to anyone who is only looking forward. The recognition inventory has 3 steps. I am going to walk you through each one, and you can do all 3 from wherever you are right now. You do not have to write anything down, although you can if you want. You do not have to leave the spot you are in. You only have to use the inner attention you already have. The first step of the recognition inventory is the absence list. In your mind, I want you to think about 3 things that have been chronically present in your life for a long stretch. These are not new things. These are things that have been there so long, you have stopped naming them as remarkable. A recurring worry that used to greet you every morning. A recurring craving that used to pull at you most evenings. A recurring conversation pattern with a particular person that has played out the same way for years. A recurring anxiety that used to wake you up in the middle of the night. Pick 3. Now, ask yourself this. In the last 14 days, have any of these gone unusually quiet? I am not asking whether they are gone forever. I am not asking whether you have fixed them. I am asking whether one or more of them has been less loud, less constant, less demanding than it has been for as long as you can remember. Most chosen ones, when they actually do this inventory honestly, discover that at least one of the three has gone surprisingly silent in the last 2 weeks. They had not noticed because the silence of an old companion is harder to notice than the arrival of a new one. If something has gone quiet for you, that is the door of completion working in advance of itself. The second step of the recognition inventory is the naming of the quiet. Once you have identified what has gone silent, I want you to do something simple. Speak it aloud, just once, softly, in a voice that no one else needs to hear. Say, I notice that this has gone quiet, and I am letting that mean something. That is the entire instruction. Most spiritual practice asks you to affirm presence, to declare what you want into existence, to call in. The recognition inventory asks you to acknowledge absence, to name what has stopped, to witness the clearing instead of demanding the building. The naming alone is enough. You do not have to bargain with what has gone quiet. You do not have to thank it for leaving. You do not have to perform any ritual around the silence. You only have to acknowledge that it has occurred and that it carries meaning. The third step of the recognition inventory is the leaving alone. This is the hardest step for most people, because the mind, when it notices that something has gone quiet, immediately wants to do one of two things. It wants to either bring the thing back by analyzing why it left, or it wants to chase a new replacement for the thing that left by filling the silence with something else. Do not do either. Let the absence be a witness. Let the silence stay silent. Do not investigate it. Do not interrogate it. Do not feel obligated to understand why this particular pattern has gone quiet at this particular time. The investigation is itself a form of pulling the silence back into the noise it just escaped from. The honoring of the silence is what completes the practice. When the heavens reorganize a season, they clear before they build. The chosen ones who track the clearing are the ones who can receive the building. The recognition inventory is how you track the clearing. 3 steps: the absence list, the naming of the quiet, the leaving alone. Across the next stretch of hours, do these 3 steps once. They will take you about 10 minutes total. They are not designed to fix anything. They are designed to align you with what the third day is actually doing inside your life, beneath the level you have been watching at. Stay with me here. We are walking into the deepest part of this message. Before I can show you what is finally being delivered across these 3 days, because I will show you, there is one thing about your own nervous system right now that is going to determine whether what is being delivered actually lands. And what I am about to tell you, almost no one in spiritual content discusses because it sounds too clinical for a sacred message. But for the chosen ones, it is the missing piece. If you take nothing else from this message, take what comes next. There is a reason that some chosen ones walk through windows like this one and watch what was meant to be theirs slide past their hands. It is not that the window did not deliver. It is not that they were not chosen. The window delivered. They were chosen. But what was being delivered required a specific inner state in order to be caught, and they were not in the state. I want to teach you about that state now. There are 2 specific frequencies the brain can be in that determine whether you can receive what a window like this is sending. They are not abstract. They have been measured. They have been documented. They have been studied for decades by researchers in laboratories you would recognize, and they are simple enough to understand in the next few minutes. The first frequency is called gamma. Gamma is the frequency of the child mind. It is the frequency of curiosity, of openness, of the kind of perception that does not yet know what is impossible. When you watch a small child looking at something for the first time, you are looking at a brain that is in gamma. The child is not analyzing, the child is not filtering, the child is receiving. Gamma is the frequency of pure receiving. You were born with gamma fully active. Every human is. The child mind is not something some people have and others do not. It is the original state of every nervous system that has ever come into the world. But around the age of 7, something starts to happen to most of us. Researchers have a name for it. They call it the decline effect. The systems we grow up inside, the schools, the social pressures, the demands to perform, the early lessons in which kinds of imagination are allowed and which are not, slowly begin to dim gamma. The child mind goes quieter. By the time we reach adulthood, for most people, gamma is operating at a tiny fraction of what it was at age 4. This is not a moral failure. It is not because you did anything wrong. It is the natural cost of growing up inside structures that benefit from adults who are not too curious, not too open, not too able to see beyond the immediate. The decline effect is what happens when a child mind is asked, over and over, to perform like a small adult. What you experience, as a result, is the foggy, contracted, slightly disconnected feeling that almost every adult walks around, carrying without naming, the sense that you used to be more alive. That something was once vivid and is now muted. That magic used to be easy and is now far away. The decline effect is what those feelings are pointing at. The child within you went quiet, and almost no one ever told you it could come back. The second frequency is called alpha. Alpha is the frequency of receiving, specifically the frequency that allows what your conscious mind has not yet seen to actually reach you. Alpha is the bridge between the surface of your awareness and the deeper layers underneath, where the unseen does most of its work. When alpha is strong, the channel between you and what is approaching is open. You can receive. You can catch what arrives. You can hold what is being delivered. But alpha has a problem in modern adult life. It has a competitor, a frequency called beta, which is the frequency of stress, of rapid analysis, of constant evaluation, of survival mode. Beta is not bad. Beta is necessary. The problem is that beta has become hyperactive in almost every adult nervous system on the planet. Financial worry, constant pings, endless decisions, background dread. All of it keeps beta running at a level it was never meant to run at. When beta is dominant, alpha cannot do its job. The receiving channel is hijacked. The bridge between you and what is approaching is closed. You can see now what most adult chosen ones are walking through, even without anyone naming it for them. The child mind has been dimmed by the decline effect. The receiving channel has been hijacked by the stress signal, both at once. And both have been working underneath the surface of the life you are visibly living, which is why so much spiritual practice feels like it almost works, but does not quite reach. The practice was real. The teaching was real. The frequencies it was being received through were not in the state to fully catch what was being sent. This is the missing piece for most chosen ones in long seasons. You are not less chosen than the soul who broke through last year. You are not less prayed for. You are not behind. You are running, in this moment, on a nervous system that has been dimmed by decades of conditioning, and the dimming is what is keeping the receiving from completing. Researchers at MIT and Princeton have spent decades documenting the gamma frequency and what reactivates it. Researchers at Stanford and Boston University have spent decades documenting the beta to alpha transition and what restores it. Two completely separate research traditions in two completely different parts of the world arrived at the same conclusion. Receiving is not effort. Receiving is a frequency state, and both frequencies that govern it can be restored. When a window like the one you are inside opens, the question is not whether something is being delivered. Something is being delivered. The question is whether your inner system is in the state to receive the delivery. I will tell you, in a few moments, exactly what has been placed in the path of chosen ones in this season to address both frequencies at once. But first, I want to bring you fully present to where we are. I want to walk you back through what we have done together, in plain language, before we move into the final part of this message. Here is what is happening across these 3 days, in the simplest words I can give you. The first 3 days of May are carrying a real 72-hour threshold for you specifically. The threshold has 3 doors: the door of recognition, the door of crossing, the door of completion. Across the window, the unseen has been delivering something that has been built underneath your life for a long stretch of months or years. The signs you have been carrying are real. The silence you have been sitting in was not absence. It was the gathering, and the gathering is breaking. What is being asked of you across this window is not effort, it is reception. The receiving you are being asked to do requires 2 specific things in your nervous system: a child mind that has not gone fully silent, and a receiving channel that is not blocked by adult stress. Most of us have lost both, because that is what modern life does to a nervous system. But both can be restored. Restoration is not metaphor. Restoration is measurable. Restoration is a real shift in real frequencies that has been documented in real laboratories. What I want to show you next are the 2 specific tools that have been placed in front of chosen ones in this exact season, because the heavens know the window is here. These are not random products. They are not generic. They are not the same as the meditation app you have already tried, or the visualization course you bought once and did not finish, or the affirmation practice that worked for 2 weeks and then faded. These tools are specific to the architecture of what is happening to you right now, across these 3 days. They were designed by 2 researchers who never met, who spent decades each on completely separate questions, and whose findings converge on the same conclusion. The conclusion is what I am about to walk you through. Stay with me, because what comes next is the part of this message that almost no one is willing to say cleanly, without dressing it up, without hiding it. I am going to say it cleanly. Truth honors truth. So let me name what is real before another moment passes. I named 2 tools earlier in this message, lightly, before we walked into the depths of what is happening across these 3 days. The genius song, the wealth signal. I told you I would return to them in depth. The moment for that return is now. I want to begin by telling you who you are inside this conversation, because what comes next will only land correctly if you know your own heritage. You were not born ordinary. I am not saying that to flatter you. I am not saying that because it is the kind of sentence that opens spiritual messages. I am saying it because the architecture of your nervous system when you came into this world was the architecture of what the ancient ones called a child of light. A small one with both gamma and alpha fully active at the same time. The frequency of curiosity, openness, magic. The frequency of receiving, of catching what the unseen sends. Both, working together, without effort, without performance. Every chosen one was once a child of light, every single one. Long ago, a teacher said that unless you turn and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Few realized he was naming a frequency. He was naming the exact state your nervous system was in when you were small. The state of receiving without filtering, the state of openness without protection, the state where what was meant for you reached you, because nothing in you was blocking the reach. And then the world began its work on you. The decline effect started dimming the child mind around the age of 7. The stress signal started hijacking the receiving channel as you stepped into the responsibilities of adult life. By the time you became the adult who is sitting here listening to this message, both had been quietly suppressed. The child within you had gone silent. The channel through which what is yours actually arrives had been closed. This is the dual deficiency the modern chosen one walks around carrying without knowing what to call it. When you are calm and open, you do not have the ability to actually receive. When you finally receive an opportunity, you cannot sustain holding it because the child mind is too exhausted to keep the wonder alive. You feel like you are almost arriving, but never quite getting there. The childhood magical state, the one you can almost remember but cannot quite reach, refuses to come back, no matter how hard you try. This is the reason every single tool you have tried up until now has only touched half of what was wrong. The meditation alone could not do it. The visualization alone could not do it. The manifestation course alone could not do it. They were not failures. They were partial. They reached one of the two frequencies you needed restored, and never the other. What has been placed in the path of chosen ones in this exact window addresses both, in the right sequence. Now I want to take you into the first of the two tools. The first tool is the one that addresses the dimming of the child mind. The frequency the researchers call gamma. It is called the genius song. The genius song is a digital audio recording, 7 minutes long. You listen to it through headphones. That is the entire commitment. There is no chanting. There is no journaling. There is no special posture. There are no instructions you have to memorize. You simply put the headphones on, close your eyes if you want to, and let the audio do what it was designed to do. What was it designed to do? It was designed by a researcher named Dr. Robert Lake, who has spent 34 years studying the neural architecture of brainwaves. Specifically, he has spent decades studying the gamma frequency and the question of why it dims so reliably across adult populations. His work has drawn on research from MIT, from Princeton, from Harvard, and from other leading research institutions. The convergence of that research told him a single thing: gamma can be reactivated. The decline effect is not permanent. The child mind can come back online. He built the genius song using a technology called brain entrainment, specifically a binaural delivery in which two slightly different audio frequencies are played, one into each ear, and the brain, in trying to integrate the two, naturally moves itself into the gamma state. This is not a placebo. This is not a metaphor. This is a measurable shift in brain frequency that begins from the first session and deepens with continued use. What does it actually do for you? It begins to reverse the decline effect. It begins to wake the child within you. The first sessions tend to feel like a softness returning, a subtle clarity that was not there before, a quietness in places where there used to be static. Over the next few weeks, what most people report is the slow return of curiosity, of openness, of the small moments of wonder that adult life had quietly stolen. The child within does not announce her return. She just shows up one morning in a thought you used to be capable of having, and you realize she is back. I am not promising you that you will become a genius from the first listen. That is not what the tool does. That is not what I am saying it does. What it does is restore a frequency your nervous system was meant to operate on, and which has been dimmed for most of your adult life. The wave of restoration begins there. It is the first wave, the reactivation of the child mind. When you secure the Genius song, Dr. Lake may offer one additional audio inside the path. It is how he protects the child mind once it has been restored, so the world cannot dim it again. Spirit will know if you need it. Do not overthink it. If your inner knowing pulls toward it, take it. If not, the original is enough. Now, I want to give you the part that almost no one explains correctly, the part that bridges the first tool into the second. Genius song reverses the decline effect. The child mind wakes. Curiosity returns. Openness returns. The magic of small things begins to register again. That is real. That is what the first wave does. But I have to tell you something that most spiritual teachers name because it complicates the simple version of the story they want to sell. The waking of the child mind is not the end of the work. There is a moment, somewhere across the first weeks of using the Genius song, when you begin to notice something strange. The child within you has woken. You can feel it. You are more open than you have been in years. You are more curious. You are more present to the small wonders. And yet, when something arrives that is meant for you, when an opportunity actually shows up, when the door begins to open on the thing you have been believing for, you discover that you cannot quite reach for it. The child has woken. The child cannot yet receive. There is a reason for this, and the reason has been studied for just as many decades as Gamma has, by an entirely separate research lineage, working on entirely separate questions in entirely separate laboratories. What this second research lineage discovered is that there is a frequency, separate from Gamma, that governs whether you can actually receive what arrives. It is the frequency I named earlier, Alpha, and the problem that almost every adult chosen one carries is that Alpha has been hijacked by Beta. The receiving channel is blocked by the stress signal. Even after the child within has woken, the channel through which she is meant to receive is still closed. The child within you woke up, but she still cannot receive what was promised. This is the plateau the first wave alone reaches, and, without the second wave, the work stays at this plateau. The child mind is alive again, but she cannot reach for what is hers because adult survival mode has commandeered the architecture of her receiving. The beta frequency is too dominant. The hyperactive analyzing, the constant background dread, the financial worry that runs underneath every quiet moment, the endless evaluation of what is enough and what is not, all of it has trained your nervous system to broadcast on the frequency of striving instead of the frequency of receiving. There is a researcher who spent his career mapping exactly this problem. His name is Dr. Stephen Newton. He was at Stanford for many years before he broke from the mainstream research establishment to release his work to the public. His findings were drawn from research conducted at Stanford, at Boston University, at Harvard, and at other research institutions around the world. He arrived at the same conclusion that Dr. Lake arrived at, but from the opposite direction. Dr. Lake was working on the child mind. Dr. Newton was working on the receiving channel. Their conclusions converge. The receiving channel can be restored. Beta hyperactivity can be calmed. Alpha can be brought back to its natural baseline. And when it is, the child within you, who has already woken because of the first wave, finally has the channel through which she is permitted to receive what was always meant for her. This is what the second tool addresses. The Genius song restores the child mind. The next tool opens the channel through which the child is permitted to receive both. In sequence, the first wave wakes her. The second wave gives her hands to catch what arrives. Become like little children. Then, receive the kingdom. That is the whole architecture. In the language of the ancient teaching, the child first, the reception second. The second tool is called the wealth signal. It is also a digital audio recording, 5 minutes long. You listen through headphones. Inside the audio is a specific guided element called the 9-word wealth script, which is rooted in an ancient Hindu technique that is more than 3,300 years old. The technique was used by practitioners who understood, long before modern brainwave research existed, that there is a specific verbal architecture that bypasses the part of the brain that resists receiving. The mechanism behind the wealth signal is a calibrated brain frequency that calms beta and restores alpha. The audio guides your nervous system gently out of stress signal dominance and into the receiving state. The 9-word script bypasses what researchers call neural rigidity, a specific stuckness in a region of the brain called the thalamus, where the receiving channel is most easily blocked. Dr. Newton built this tool after 30+ years of research at Stanford, at Boston University, at Harvard, and at other research institutions. The research stream is independent of Dr. Lake's research stream. 2 different doctors, 2 different lifetimes of work, 2 different frequencies addressed. They never coordinated. They arrived separately at the conclusion that the architecture of receiving has 2 waves and not 1. What does the wealth signal actually do for you after the child within has been restored? It opens the channel. It calms the part of your nervous system that has been broadcasting scarcity for years. It deactivates the stress signal that has been hijacking your receiving. The kingdom begins to flow in, the way a child receives a gift from a father, without performing, without earning, without proving. The channel is the bridge between you and what is yours. The wealth signal is what keeps the bridge open. I am not promising you that money will fall from the sky on the morning of your first listen. I am not in that business. What I am telling you is that the architecture of receiving, which has been blocked for most of your adult life, can be restored, and the restoration begins from the first session and deepens with continued use. The shift is real. The shift is measurable. The shift has been documented across thousands of users across multiple years. When you secure the wealth signal, Dr. Newton may offer one additional amplification inside the path. It is how he helps reception arrive faster for the ones whose lives are ready for the channel to widen. If your spirit confirms it, take it. If not, the original is enough. Do not overthink it. Let me tell you about 2 people who have walked through this. Some time ago, a woman named Marlene reached out after using the Genius song. I am giving her a different name to protect her privacy. She had been a creative person in her younger years, the kind of woman who used to draw constantly, who used to start projects she could not stop thinking about, who used to wake up in the middle of the night with ideas that felt like they had to be born. By the time she was 47, all of that had gone quiet. The drawings stopped. The projects stayed unfinished. The ideas in the night had become a low hum of worry instead of a chorus of inspiration. She told me she felt like the version of herself who used to create had simply walked out of the house one day and never returned. She used the Genius song for about 3 weeks. She told me, around the start of the 4th week, that she sat down at her kitchen table on a Sunday morning and drew for 2 hours without stopping. She had not drawn in 11 years. The drawings were not professional. They were not for sale. They were for her. And the version of her she thought had walked out of the house had walked back in. The child within her had woken. There is another woman I want to tell you about. I will call her Dawn. She had been working as a caregiver for an elderly parent for nearly 5 years. She had a small business on the side that she kept trying to grow, but that never quite caught. She had been believing for a financial shift for so long that she had stopped expecting one. She used the wealth signal for about a month. She told me what changed first was not the money. What changed first was the inner sense of weight. She said the constant background dread that had been running underneath every decision finally went quiet. And then, in the second month, 3 things happened in close succession. A long-delayed payment came in. A new client reached out, unprompted, with a project that doubled her monthly income. A family member who had owed her money for years sent it back without being asked. None of these were dramatic. None of them looked like a miracle from the outside. From the inside, she said, they felt like the channel finally opening. I share these because they are not unique. They are typical of what happens when the right wave is restored at the right time, in the right order. Now I want to address a few things that may be moving in the back of your mind. Things you may not have said out loud, but which are sitting there as you listen. I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking, I have tried things like this before. I have done meditation apps. I have done visualization courses. I have done brainwave audios. None of them changed my life. This is probably another version of the same thing. I hear that. I want to honor that. The disappointment of having tried tools that did not work is real, and it should not be brushed past. But I want to give you 2 layers of why this is different. The first layer is the mechanism. Meditation and yoga and ordinary healing sounds ask the brain to change itself from the inside. They are slow. They depend entirely on the discipline of the practitioner, and most of us cannot sustain that discipline for years on end while still living the demands of a full life. The genius song and the wealth signal do not work that way. They use brain entrainment and frequency calibration, which act on the brain from the outside. The shift is delivered to your nervous system, not extracted from it through effort. The difference is the difference between trying to become warmer by force of will and stepping into a heated room. The second is just easier. The second layer is the sequence. Almost everything you have tried up until now was a single frequency tool. It targeted alpha alone, or gamma alone, or relaxation alone, or visualization alone. None of them addressed both waves of what was wrong, and none of them addressed them in the right order. The 2-wave stack is sequenced. The child wakes first. The channel opens second. That is what makes it different from the things you have tried. The order is the technology. Some of you are also thinking, this sounds too good to be true. I understand that one. The hesitation is healthy. The hesitation has protected you from many bad bets in many tired seasons of your life. I am not asking you to throw the hesitation away. I am asking you to look at where the data points. 2 separate research lineages working in different universities, on different continents, on different specific questions, arrived at convergent conclusions about brain frequency and receiving. The data exists. The studies exist. The thousands of users who have walked through these tools exist. Nearly 38,000 chosen ones across both phases have used these audios. Less than 5% return them. The numbers tell a story that is not based on faith. The numbers tell a story based on what consistently happens when the right frequencies are restored in the right order. Some of you are thinking, this is going to cost something I do not have. I would never disrespect your financial situation. I do not know your bills. I do not know your responsibilities. I do not know what is being asked of you in this season by the people who depend on you. What I will tell you is that whatever the investment turns out to be, When you arrive at the page where the paths are shown to you, the architecture is built to honor wherever you are starting from. There is an entry point that is small. There is a complete journey that is bigger. There is a guarantee that means whatever you choose, you do not carry the risk. And we will walk through all of that in a moment. And now, I want to address the question that has been the loudest. The question I know is sitting in some of you, because it is the question almost everyone has when they first encounter a stack of 2 products instead of 1. Why 2? Why can it not be 1 tool? It is a fair thing to wonder. Here is the answer, in the cleanest version I can give you. The Genius Song targets gamma, the Wealth Signal targets alpha, 2 completely different frequencies. 2 completely different problems in your nervous system. No single tool, anywhere, has been built broad enough to target both effectively. The reason is that the 2 frequencies are not adjacent. They are not next to each other on the brainwave spectrum. They sit in different regions and respond to different mechanisms. To address both, you need 2 specific tools, each calibrated to its own target. There is something more, which is the part that resonates the deepest for the chosen ones. The wealth signal alone, used by an adult whose child mind is still dimmed, does not work the way it was designed to. The receiving channel can be opened, but if the soul receiving is still operating in adult survival mode, with no child mind alive, what comes through the channel cannot be held. The adult receives, performs the receiving, and loses what was given because there is no inner child capacity to actually marvel at it, to actually hold it as the gift it was. The Genius Song alone solves only half of the equation. The child wakes. She is now alive again inside you. But she has no permission to reach for what is hers because the receiving channel is still closed. She is awake and unable to receive. That is its own kind of ache. This is why the sequence matters. The child first, the reception second. Long ago, a teacher said, "You must become like little children to receive the kingdom." Few realized he was describing a frequency sequence. The kingdom does not come to those who are simply open. The kingdom comes to those who have first become the child, and then opened the channel through which the child receives. If your budget can only carry one of the 2 right now, start with the first wave. Start with the restoration of the child mind. The reception will come when you are ready. The heavens will not penalize you for arriving in the order your life can afford. The architecture is honored at every entry point. But for most chosen ones who have walked into a window like this one, the path that completes the work is the full path, both waves, in sequence. So, here is what stands in front of you. 3 paths. The first path is restoration only, the Genius Song alone. This is the honored entry point. It is for the chosen one who feels, more than anything, that the child within them has gone fully quiet. That the magic of their own life has been the missing thing for so long, the thought of having it back is the thing pulling at them most. If that is you, this path is enough to begin. The first wave alone is real, and what it restores is real. The child within you wakes. Curiosity returns. The dim begins to lift. The honored entry point of restoration is a true beginning. The second path is reception only, the wealth signal alone. This is the rare path. It is for the chosen one whose spiritual practice is already deeply alive, whose child mind has somehow stayed unusually present through the years, but who feels that the channel through which the world is meant to bring what is theirs has been stuck shut. This is not most chosen ones. Most of us have lost both the child mind and the receiving channel. But for the small group whose child mind has stayed alive, the second wave alone is what is needed. If that resonates with you, that path is honored too. The third path is the complete restoration, both audios, both waves, the full child mind reversal. This is the path most chosen ones we serve choose, because most of us recognize that both have been quietly suppressed across the years, and that opening only one without the other is half the journey. The genius song restores the child within. The wealth signal opens the channel through which she is permitted to receive what was promised to her. Become like little children, and the kingdom is yours. I am not pressuring you toward the third path. I am telling you what the architecture is, plainly. Restoration and reception compound each other. They do not simply add up. The child mind awakened, but with the manifestation channel still closed, is half restoration. It is the child waking up, but not being permitted to receive. Most chosen ones, when they sit honestly with where they are, recognize they need both. If your spirit is pulled toward the complete journey, that is a sign worth listening to. If your spirit is pulled toward beginning at restoration alone, that is also a sign worth listening to. All three paths are honored. The page that holds them is built so each of the three is fully visible to you, with the complete information you need to choose. Before you reach that page, I want to give you one more layer of why now matters. Each day, inside this window, that the stress signal continues, hijacking your receiving channel, is a day the channel stays closed. Each day the decline effect continues, dimming the child within you, is a day she stays a little more silent. These two are not static, they compound. Underneath the surface of your daily life, every additional day of running on a hijacked nervous system trains the nervous system to keep running that way. The longer the patterns hold, the deeper the grooves. The deeper the grooves, the more work it takes to begin the restoration. There is a version of you, a few months into the future, who has already been walking the restored path. I want you to imagine that version of you, just for a breath. She has heard a child's voice inside her own laughter for the first time in years. She has caught what was meant for her, instead of watching it pass by because the channel was closed. She has stopped running on the frequency of striving and started running on the frequency of receiving. That version of you is looking back at this exact moment, in this exact message, as the moment when the path turned. Not because the moment was magical on its own, because you were the one who chose, inside the window, to step into what was being offered. The window does not pressure you. The window only lets you know it is open. I need to give you one more thing before I send you to the page. There are counterfeits. I have to name this, because it is real, and because the chosen ones who have come this far in this message deserve to be told the truth about how to find what is actually being offered. There are imitators online who have used the names The Genius Song and The Wealth Signal to sell audios that have nothing to do with what Dr. Lake and Dr. Newton built. Audios without the actual brain entrainment, binaural technology. Audios without the calibrated brain frequency engineering. Audios that are simply recorded sounds dressed up in similar names, hoping to catch the people who do not look closely. You will not find the original tools on Amazon. You will not find them on Spotify. You will not find them on any general audio platform. They are not there. The originals are only available with the full technology intact, with all the bonuses included, with the 90-day complete confidence guarantee, through the link placed below this message. The link is in the description. The link is in the pinned comment. Both places. Either one will take you to the same path. I am telling you this not to scare you. I am telling you because what is being offered in this window is too important to lose to a counterfeit. Go where the actual tools live. Skip everywhere else. Now, I am going to ask you to do something. and I want you to do it gently. In a moment, you are going to step away from this message and walk to where the three paths are shown. Before you do, I want you to take a slower breath than the one you are taking now. Let your shoulders drop, even slightly. Place a hand on the center of your chest if it feels right, or just let your hands be still wherever they are. This is not a pricing decision. I want you to hear that clearly, because the part of you that is used to evaluating purchases is going to try to take this over the moment you arrive at the page. That part is not the part being asked to choose. The part being asked to choose is older than that. The part being asked to choose is the gatekeeper of your own threshold, who I named for you in the first day. The gatekeeper does not ask, "Can I afford this?" The gatekeeper asks, "Which path is mine?" All three paths are honored. None is a wrong choice. Restoration is real. Reception is real. The complete journey is real. Whichever one you stand inside, your spirit will know which one. You do not have to convince yourself. You do not have to rehearse a justification. The knowing is already in you. The page is simply where the knowing meets the world. The three paths are placed below, in the description and in the pinned comment. Both contain the same opening to the same architecture. Step into the door that calls you. If your spirit is pulled toward complete restoration, the third path is there for you. If your spirit is pulled toward beginning at restoration alone, the first path is there. If your spirit is the rare one who is pulled toward reception alone, the second path is there. All three, below, in the description, in the pinned comment. Step into the door that calls you, or, if your spirit is not yet pulled, stay with me here. Both choices are honored. The window does not require your purchase. The window only requires your presence. You may have stepped away to where the three paths are placed. You may not have. Either is honored. The window does not measure your worth by what you bought. The window only meets you in the choice your spirit was actually free to make. Whether your hand has already moved or not, what comes next is for you. There is one final layer of what is happening across these 3 days that I have been holding back from you. I held it back not because it was a secret, but because you needed to walk through everything else first to be ready to hear it correctly. If I had said it at the beginning of this message, it would have sounded like a slogan. Now, it can land as what it actually is. I want to bring you back to the silence I named at the very beginning of this message. Bring it forward in your mind one more time. The silence you have been sitting in for weeks, maybe months. The silence that felt like absence. The silence that made you wonder, in your most honest moments, whether anything was ever going to move again. We named it together in the early hours of the first day. The silence was not absence. The silence was the gathering. I want you to stand inside that recognition again, but from a different place. A place that only opens after you have walked through the door of recognition, the door of crossing, and the door of completion. A place that only the chosen ones who have stayed all the way through this message will be able to hear. Here is the deepest layer of what is happening across these 3 days. These 3 days are not just a window for you. These 3 days are a window through you. Sit with that sentence. The heavens are not delivering something into your life. The heavens are revealing that what was being delivered was you all along. Your becoming is what was being readied. The shift is not external. The shift is you. Every long month behind you was not the cost of getting to the gift. Every long month behind you was the gift becoming itself. You were what was being made. You were what was being formed. You were what was approaching the threshold. The silence was not the silence of an empty road. The silence was the silence of a soul being shaped into the one who could carry what is now arriving. What you thought was waiting was preparation. What you thought was delay was credentialing. What you thought was being given to you was being given as you. The window has not been showing up to drop a thing into your hands. The window has been showing up to hand you back to yourself, the version of yourself that was always meant to walk into the rest of your life, the version that no longer doubts she was named for this, the version that has stopped asking permission to receive what was always hers. Joseph did not get a thing in Pharaoh's court. Joseph got Joseph back. The 2 years of days had emptied him of every smaller version of himself, until what stood up out of the cell, on the day the cell was no longer. The cell was the man he had been becoming all along. The promotion was not the gift. The promotion was the mirror in which the gift could finally see itself. The same is being done in you. The first day was the recognition of the door. The second day was the crossing of the weight. The third day is the sealing. But what is being sealed is not the door behind you. What is being sealed is you. The version of you that no longer doubts she was named for this season. The version of you that has stopped performing belief and started carrying it. The version of you that the rest of your life is going to be built around. I hear something being placed on my heart for you again, in this very breath, and I want to give it to you directly. Beloved, I did not bring you to the threshold to give you a thing. I brought you to the threshold to give you back to yourself. The deliverance is not in what arrives in your hands. The deliverance is in what wakes inside you. You have always been carrying it. You have always been the one I was waiting for. The first day was the recognition. The second was the crossing. The third is the sealing. But what I am sealing is not the door. I am sealing you. I am sealing the version of you who no longer doubts she was named for this. Receive yourself. Stay there for a breath. You do not need to do anything with what just landed. You only need to know it was placed in your hands on a day that most of the world will never know was a holy one. That alone is part of the door. Take a breath that goes a little deeper than the last one. Just one. You have been listening for a long time. There is nothing you have to do with this message that you have not already done. Your presence has been the entire offering. Your willingness to stay through the parts that were uncomfortable, through the parts that asked you to consider tools you had never heard of, through the parts that asked you to sit with silence that could have felt like nothing happening at all. Your stayingness was the inner work. There is no rush from here. What we have left in this message is gentle. What we have left is the closing of what has been opened, the settling of what has been stirred, the naming of what has been recognized. You do not have to perform anything with me through the rest of this. You only have to be present. Now, I want to tie everything we have walked through together into one single thread, so that when you leave this space, you carry the thread with you. We have walked through 3 doors across these days. The door of recognition, where the unseen reached into the seen and let you know it was moving. The door of crossing, where the weight transferred and the resistance of the second day tried to convince you that you imagined the whole thing. The door of completion, where the inner knowing settled. The configuration of people around you began to reorganize, and at least one tangible thing in your material life began to move. You have walked through the cell with Joseph. You have stood inside the stone room and felt what 2 years of days does to a soul. You have heard the Hebrew phrase that holds the architecture of every great deliverance. hijacking. And it came to pass at the end of your stone room is at the door of this window. You have received the receiving protocol, the quiet hour, the short question, the naming. 3 components, 75 minutes total, spread across 72 hours. You have received the recognition inventory, the absence list, the naming of the quiet, the leaving alone. Both practices together will hold you through the rest of this window and into the days that follow it. You have walked through the architecture of why receiving requires 2 waves and not 1. The child mind, dimmed by the decline effect, restored by the first wave. The receiving channel, hijacked by the stress signal, opened by the second wave. The order is the technology, the child first, the reception second. And you have walked, just a few moments ago, into the deepest layer of what this window has been doing the whole time. The window has not been about a thing arriving. The window has been about you arriving. The deliverance is not what is coming. The deliverance is who is finally awake to receive what is coming. Whatever day this lands on for you, the door is opening. And the door cannot open without you stepping through. The 3rd day is not a destination you must arrive at by the calendar. The 3rd day is a state of completion that meets you at whatever moment you are present. If today is the 1st, you are at the open. If today is the 2nd, the crossing has begun in you. If today is the 3rd, the sealing is happening in this very stretch of breath. None of these positions is too late. None is more deserved than the other. The window meets the chosen one who is present. You are not alone in this. Right now, all across the world, chosen ones are walking through this exact same threshold. Some are on day 1, just feeling the door begin to crack. Some are on day 2, walking inside the doorway, wondering whether they are imagining the shift. Some are on day 3, finishing the inner sealing in the small, ordinary moments of an unremarkable afternoon. Different points in the same window, different phases of the same opening. You are part of a quiet gathering of souls who, in this exact stretch of 72 hours, are being met. You will never see most of them. You will not know their names. But the field they are standing inside is the same field you are standing inside, and the field is alive with what is being delivered. If this message has met you, somewhere in your week, someone you know is walking through the same window blind. They have not been given the language for what is happening to them. They have not been told the silence was the gathering. They have not been told they are not waiting but being timed. If they cross your mind in the next few hours, that is not random. That is the window placing them in your awareness, because the gathering is meant to be shared. We will return to that in a moment. Now, I want you to do something with me. It is not a posture. You do not need to stand. You do not need to leave the spot you are in. You can do this from a chair, from a bed, from behind a steering wheel parked safely, from anywhere your body has come to rest. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can do so safely. If you cannot close them, simply soften them. Let them rest on whatever surface they are looking at without focusing. In your mind, I want you to stand, not your body, your inner self, the part of you that has been listening, underneath the part of you that has been hearing. Imagine yourself standing in front of an ancient door. The door is taller than you. It has been carved with markings, and the markings, as you look at them, begin to clarify into your own name, written in a language you do not yet read, but somehow recognize. The door is already opening. This is not visualization. This is not pretend. This is what is happening in the unseen right now, in this very breath, on this very day. Your imagination is the bridge by which you are witnessing what is actually unfolding. The door does not require you to push it. The door requires only that you stand inside its opening. Stand inside it now. Stand. Stay there for as long as the inner moment is still alive. There is no rush to leave. Most of what the heavens deliver in a window like this delivers itself in moments that look exactly like this. Moments where the body is still and the inner self is awake. Moments where the world cannot see anything happening, and yet everything is happening. You can let your eyes open whenever you are ready. The door will not close behind you. You have walked into it now, and the inside of the door is where the rest of your week is going to be lived. Now, I want to bring this message to its quiet close. I am not going to call this a prayer, because the word may or may not fit the way you walk with the unseen. I am not going to call this an activation, because that word has been worn out by people who used it to perform. I am simply going to call this what it is, a sealing. If you can, take one breath. Let it go a little softer than the breath before it. I want to begin by simply acknowledging where you are. The Source sees every weight you carried into this window, every quiet prayer you whispered when no one was listening, every silent year, every hour you wondered whether you would still be standing by the time the answer arrived. The heavens have not lost count of those hours. They have been counted. They have been kept. They have been turned, every single one of them, into the architecture of what is now being delivered. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been overlooked. The accounting of the soul does not work the way the accounting of the world works. The soul gets credited for every hour of staying, and the credit has been compounding underneath every season you thought was empty. Now I want to release something with you. There is something you have been carrying that was never yours to carry into this next stretch of your life. I am not going to name it for you, because only your own spirit knows its name, but you know what it is. It rose up, even in this conversation, when I named the things you might be holding. It rose up, even when I did not name it directly. It is the thing you have been quietly tired of, the thing that has been heavier than it was supposed to be, the thing that you have been asking, in some hidden room of your inner life, to please be taken from you. Whatever it is, name it inside your own self, in this breath. And now, hear this. What is no longer for you, let it leave the way it came, without your permission, without your protest. The window is not asking you to wrestle it away from you. The window is permitting it to leave. Stand inside the doorway and let the leaving happen, at the speed the leaving needs to happen. What is yours, let it arrive in the same way, without your bargaining, without your performing, without your earning. The door does not require you to deserve what is on the other side of it. The door only requires you to stand inside it. Now I want to declare something over you. You are the threshold made visible. You are the inheritance arriving on time. You are the chosen met. Hear that one more time, slowly. You are the threshold made visible. The door we have walked through together is not separate from you. The door is what your life looks like from the inside of this window. You are how the threshold becomes something the world can see, not a doorway in a wall, a doorway in a soul. The soul is yours. You are the inheritance arriving on time, not late, not early, not by accident. The you that is sitting here, in this breath, is the precise version of yourself the heavens have been preparing to release into the world. The arrival is on schedule. The schedule was set before you knew there was a schedule. You are the chosen. Met. The window did not pass you. The window did not reach for you. And miss. The window stopped exactly where you were standing, and now you and the window are the same shape, in the same moment, on the same day. The meeting is complete. I am going to ask you to do one thing before we close. Do not say the word that ends this yet. Do not say, Amen. Do not say, it is sealed, not yet. I want you to sit with the frequency of what just landed for 60 seconds. Just sit, just breathe. Do not perform anything. Do not think about what you are going to do next. Do not check the time. Just let what was placed in this space stay placed for 1 full minute, because the sealing happens in the silence after the words, and the silence is what gives the words their weight. Seat. Breathe. Stay. I hear one more thing being placed for you in this breath. Brief, final, yours. You were not the visitor at this threshold. You were what the threshold opened for. It is sealed. The message has reached its end, but the window has not. If something in this message met you, the way the field of all that exists sometimes meets a single soul on a single day, I want you to do something simple before you go. Speak the meeting back into the world. In the comments below, leave a single declaration, whatever resonates with where you actually are. You can say, I am chosen. You can say, the window is mine. You can say, I am the threshold made visible. Whatever phrase came alive in you across these last hours, name it once, in writing, where the world can see it. I am not asking you to perform the comment for me. I am asking you to perform it for yourself. The naming completes the sealing. The naming is part of the door. When your name shows up under this message in your own words, the meeting becomes something that can be witnessed. And there is a kind of solidification that happens when an inner state is given outer language. If your spirit confirmed something today, leave a like on this message. The like is a small ceremony. It is the soul saying yes to what landed, in the only language the field has for that yes. It also places this message in the path of another chosen one who is walking blind into their own window and has not yet been given the language for what is happening to them. The like is part of the gathering. If you are walking the chosen path, the messages that are going to come next are going to be timed. The way this one was timed. They will not be daily lessons. They will be windows. They will arrive when the unseen wants you addressed. Subscribe so you do not miss them. The messages are placed for the ones who stay close. And then, I want you to do one more thing. Earlier in this message, when we walked through the gathering, I told you that someone you know is walking through this exact same window blind. They have not been told the silence was the gathering. They have not been told they are not waiting, but being timed. They are sitting in the heavy quiet of a long season, wondering whether they have been forgotten, and they have not been given the language for what is happening to them. Share this message with that person. You will know who they are without me having to describe them. They are the friend who has been unusually quiet these last few weeks. They are the family member who keeps almost finishing a sentence and then trailing off. They are the one in your circle who has been carrying a weight that no one in their life has fully named. They have been waiting for someone to hand them the door. Be the one who hands them the door. Send them this message in whatever way you talk to them. A text, an email, a quiet message inside whatever app holds your conversation with them. Do not explain it too much. Just send it. The window will do the rest. The right ones will recognize. the way you recognized, and the recognition will be the door. Before this message ends, I want to say one more thing about the two tools we walked through. For some of you, while we have been walking through the closing of this window, your spirit has been quietly pulling toward the genius song, or the wealth signal, or the complete restoration. You have not made the choice yet. The pull is still alive. The three paths are still there. They are not going anywhere across the rest of this window. They are placed below this message, in the description, and in the pinned comment. Both places hold the same opening. Whichever path your spirit confirms, when it confirms, step into the door that calls you. If your spirit is not yet pulled, that is also honored. The window does not require your purchase. The window only requires your presence. You have already given that. You have been present for the entire walk. The presence is the offering. Whichever way it goes, the rest of this window is yours. What you just walked through was not a video you watched. It was a window you stood inside. When you leave this space, you are not leaving the window. You are carrying the window with you into the rest of your day, into the rest of these 72 hours, into the days that follow them. The door we walked through together has not been closed behind you. The door is now the shape of the rest of your week. Walk back into your day differently than the version of yourself who walked into this message. Move slower than you were moving before. Listen for what is gone quiet, and listen for what has begun to settle. Honor the people who reach for you in the next stretch of hours, and honor the silence of the ones who do not. Let what is leaving leave. Let what is arriving arrive. Hold both with the same calm, because both are the work of the same window. Go gently. Receive what is yours. You are the chosen. The window is open. The seal is set. And now, beloved, the silence belongs to you.
you.